Hi guys, welcome to Fapo's session with me, Doc Kumalo. And don't forget to subscribe because this is the platform where you get the best from Fapo's session. I'm not alone. I'm with Edim Tale, my gents, Shabujo.
Not.
No,
I'm partly cloudy, but I'll be fine. Yeah, as we progress. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, look, so many things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we've got our guest. Tia Mabas.
Nice,
Right,
Doc.
all right, boss.
Very well, Doc. Nice.
Welcome, my brother.
Nice to be on your show.
Later.
And with my gents as well.
Yeah.
oh,
So my gents is a defender, ne?
Yeah.
So be careful of the things that you say because he likes to buy score to defend. Yeah.
I'm watching him.
It's not even wearing shin guards.
All right. And then we have To, Mr. Tube. All right.
Sure, Doc.
Good to have you, my brother.
Nandi, thanks.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no. These are the two guys, Edige, that actually I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscribers way for post. They usually update us, who it's either on the app of a post or sometimes in the social media. So the reason why the guys are here, very, very knowledgeable guys in terms of when we talk about the game. And that's the reason why I thought it would be wise for us to reflect on what is happening on the DStv Premiership. Yeah. By the way, guys, I'm not too sure whether you know that Sundowns have won the championship. They are the champions for the fourth time. Well done, Masandawana, Coach Steve Kompela, Coach Mangoba Mniti, Rulani Mkwena, the technical team, the players, the supporters, and the Sundowns family. We just want to say it from Fapo's, job well done. You are the 2021 champions in style.
Congratulations.
So Masandawana are the champions with 2 games to go.
Could have been more. There's never in doubt. I know Amazulu came and tried to fight it, but that Sundowns quality.
Yeah.
I'll even put my head on the block and say even next season,
Yeah.
they're going to win it again. Seriously. Because where are the challenges?
Are you saying the other...
Doc, the challenges are not just names.
Yes.
It's not just that you're Orlando Pirates, therefore you challenge.
Yes.
It's not that you're Kaiser Chiefs, therefore you challenge.
Okay.
Sundowns are far ahead in terms of a lot of things. In most teams, you don't have the freedom to sign players.
Okay.
Management will say, we are in it as well.
And
then you'll hear about other teams, coaches' interference, and so on and so on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those things, even if you have a good team, they tend to affect what we see out there on the field. Now with Sundowns, those guys have the freedom. They have the budget to get the players that they want. And I know people are going to talk about money, but for me, it's not just about money.
Yeah.
It's about the freedom
Yes.
that the technical team has at Sundowns
Okay.
to do what they think is right for the team without any interference whatsoever.
Wow.
So for me, when I look at that, if you are going to have a team that maybe you're still doubting your coach, there's no plan. When Coach Peter was there,
Yes.
he was there for many, many years.
Yes, of course.
Even when the supporters were fighting,
Yeah.
they kept him because they understand the process. In other teams, when the supporters start fighting, they get rid of the coach.
Okay.
Because even Bona as management, they don't understand the process, you see. So that's why you find that a coach leaves and then his assistants remain. Then they become caretaker coaches or your interim coaches, but they failed with him.
Yeah.
Why are they remaining? You see, in Europe, If you join Man United
Yeah.
as their coach, when you leave with your whole technical team because you all fail.
You all fail. So it's not about the head coach.
No.
So it's all about the supporting act, which is the assistant coaches, the video analysis, the doctor, the physio, everything. Because, by the way, a lot of people, they don't understand that when you talk about technical team, it's not about two assistants and probably somebody who's advising the technical team. We're talking to everybody. Because according to my experience, you know what is a physiotherapy can sabotage you, prolong an injury.
True.
The IAD is not yet ready. When are you thinking, hey, this injury, you can't know walk how.
Yeah.
So, but then let's go back to what you were talking about, which is very, very valuable, and I really appreciate that. You know, you've touched on the local coaches, which is the three guys that we know. They've done very well under circumstances which I wouldn't want to tag them as pressure, because I'll be undermining their integrity.
Yes.
Because if I were to say, yes, we don't have to shy away to say Pito set a trend, but the guys worked with him. That is Mangoba Mngwiti, Rulani Mkwena, Wendell Robertson, the goalkeeper trainer, and they're still there.
Yes.
So they only add Steve to beef up.
Yeah.
And then what happened? The ship didn't sink. They kept it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to?
Quite interesting. I mean, at the start of the season, there were questions whether this thing would work. You know, would are equals going to clash, because all of them. I mean, Rolani had been at Pirates as head coach. Mangoba had obviously been at Arrows before as head coach. Steve had been around as head coach. So you'd wonder if it was going to work. You know, and it seems they've made it work, because. They've wrapped it up with I think they're left with 3 games. Sundowns are left with 3 games. 60 points. 10 ahead of Amazulu, their nearest challengers. And I see Pirates and Golden Arrows obviously third at 46 points. So they've done very well, as a team. And I think the challenge for them now would be to go and challenge and get into the Champions League and get into the top 4. Because they've done it 4 times successively. Now go to Africa and prove that you're a big team. So that would be the challenge of the 3 wise men.
Yes, guys. Not only Sundowns coaches. We've got Benny McCarthy, joins Amazulu, rock bottom of the lock, amazing turnaround. He was pushing Sundowns. We have Mandla Ngigazi, third on the log, pushing Benny and Sundowns. And those are teams that were coached by a locals coach. Would you guys agree if I were to say, based on the understanding and the trust and the belief, because obviously this is a mental factor. It's a very, very critical phase, to say, the team is not only a one-man show, it's a collective. And how you perceive people, your goals, and where do you want to see the club yourself, probably in the next 10 years, Would you say, by the way, he's being nominated as one of the coach of the season, Benny McCarthy, and the 3 coaches at Sundowns, Mandla Ngigazi, number 3. If we were to wrap it up, Eddie, in terms of the 2 teams, Amazulu and Golden Arrows, Machita, I mean, Baspanile Grand blind. Because Nto Ore, Arrows is 3rd and Pirates 4th. So those 2 teams are vying for number 3.
Yes.
So Amazulu, they're going for Champions League. So go to blind, man.
So, yeah, I think you said a mouthful, Doggies, because you look at Ngazi and Benny, where they come from, né? They came in through all odds because they just sacked their coaches.
Yes.
And Benny and Ngazi, they were on board for both teams. Né? And by then, both teams were struggling, were at the bottom, almost at the bottom of the log. And Benny took them, I mean, with or without pre-season training. You know, in the middle of nowhere, coach was sacked, 2 in, and then they move on. Okay, Ngazi.
Sorry, Eddie Upazamis. You know, Eddie just pointed out something which is very critical when it comes to coaching. Pre-season training, which is planning of the season.
Yeah.
So, Ngazi, okay, he was there, but he just took from where the coach left. And fortunately, he did these wonders. But I'm not sure whether the head coach or the fired coach was listening to him, or Ngazi did have some input. Because what we see now and what we see before the other coach was fired is a different story. So it shows that both they were not working hand in hand. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think that goes to your point. That maybe when they must fire both or all of them.
That's all good.
Yeah, because if Ngazi was contributing a lot to the head coach, Levi, the coach wouldn't be sacked or he didn't lose games. And Belly did well. We all know Belly is a disciplinarian.
Yes, of course.
And then, like you said, with or without the money, you understand? AmaZulu, after they got Benny, they only get 4 or 5 players, services of 4 or 5 players, which were not even playing. I'll tell you about the 3 players that came from Pirate. They were not regular.
Yeah.
But Benny changed them to something. And then there's Benny number 2 now.
No, I agree with my gents. Basically, for me, when I look at the 2 teams, without knowing what's happening behind the scenes, just looking at the 2 teams from the front, it's how you set up in terms of how you play. You find that before these guys came, maybe the approach was not as positive.
Okay.
Now you have a team of Benny that goes out to attack. And I'll give you practical examples. If you look at AmaZulu up front, they'll even go with 3. They have Kalinge, they'll have Mulenga, they'll have Memela, then sometimes they'll have Majoro. But if you check the lineup, it's a lineup that you say, these guys are going to score a goal.
Yeah.
You see? If you compare, maybe with the recent game, Orlando Pirates are hosting Raja Casablanca at home. They play without a striker. How are you going to win a game without a striker? You have Mabasa on the bench, Mango is on the bench, and then Makaringe is more like your false 9.
False 9, yes.
Where are you going to get the goals? So for me, those 2 teams in Durban, they played to win in terms of their lineups. You could see with their lineups that these guys are actually playing positive football, hoping to get a result. Sometimes some of the teams, you can see these guys are playing for a draw. Right from the beginning, with the lineup itself. I've heard Orlando Pirates fans say, this lineup, there's no way we're going to win.
Oh.
Because you can
the
see.
supporters are saying.
Yes. On social media, you can see when they comment on the lineup that they say, there's no way you're going to win a game with this lineup. Because they know they don't have a striker. Where are the strikers? What fear for you as Joseph Zimbauer do you have? That you're playing at home, you must get a result at home before you go away. But you're playing without a striker.
You play
so
with
now
six defenders.
Exactly. In comparison with those teams, I know it's a CAF game and a domestic game, but it's still football.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you have an AmaZulu team that previously, AmaZulu play with 1 striker. Check with the previous coaches, 1 striker. Now they go with 2. And then they still go with those wingers that are so fast.
You
know? So even when you go to Golden Arrows, the same thing.
Yeah, same
You know? they play. You can see that even if the goals don't come from Mutizwa, they'll come from Makubele. Somewhere it's gonna come. You can see these are attacking players.
So guys, yeah, fortunately enough, I had an opportunity to talk to Mandla and Benny, and I was on the phone with him for more than an hour. You know, we were talking about how he changed the mental factor, because it was not about the technical component or phase. It was him. How did he manage to get the boys to this level where they are? And he alluded to the fact that obviously being as a player, at some stage, you go through this kind of a phase. And he has been coached by top coaches. So the game has evolved. You know, the mental factor is the one that makes the team to click. So he said he summoned the guys to say, guys, if you want to be part of Benny McCarthy's structure or to be at the Mazulu, it's either you up your game or the door is open. Yeah. Yanong edi mutawulela dade nguremon. Awngadlali mtho hayi umnyango uvuliwe ngizothola amajita. And isebenzile, ichangile. But omunye umuntu osilalele or maybe heard it before, would you say Benny was a little bit harsh?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because you can't be treating these guys with just kids' gloves. They're professionals.
It's a professional team. Yeah.
So change their mentality from guys who are comfortable playing for a draw.
Okay.
To guys who know that they must win. You see.
Yes.
So now if you get in there and you say, no guys, this is an away game, we are good with a draw, the mentality won't change.
Won't change.
Play to win.
So
look how Sundowns are winning the league.
Yes.
Check their away form. Don't mind the home form.
You know,
check the away form.
Now you're talking about something else. You know, Sundowns, they will never change how they play.
Exactly my point.
Whether win or lose or draw, they are same outfit.
Absolutely, Doc.
Positional football. They don't change.
They don't change.
But going back to Benny, did Benny get 4 or 5 players or 10 players? Did he sign anything?
Look, he didn't sign. I mean,
he didn't sign.
He didn't sign.
But he's number 2. I'm not too sure, guys. Maybe if they're at home, you know of any player that Benny signed and Mto is not telling us the truth, please subscribe and let us know. But Mto sure. He didn't sign.
Benny gets there. He finds these guys in position 13.
Yeah?
And the mentality is, we're going to fight relegation. I mean, when you are there, you're thinking relegation.
Yeah.
But he changes the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, he changes. I mean, when you speak to Amazulu players,
Yeah.
I've interviewed a couple of them in recent weeks.
Yes.
The one thing that they keep pointing out is Benny came with a confidence boost for them. So they play confidently. They know they can beat any team.
Yeah.
So, and I'd imagine next season they'll be looking to push Sundowns to the wire, you know, because they've done it this season. And when Benny signs, new players and plugs in a few gaps, they'll definitely want to give it a go and put up a strong challenge for us, which is a good thing because Pirates have not been, they've not come to the party.
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs have not come to the party.
Yeah.
Benny has, and Mandla has a Golden Arrows. So
Yes.
it's good to have that kind of competition from a team like Amazulu.
Yo. Ukhuluma ngoMandla ethi. Watsiba Mandla ne? Orena, he only believes in transitional period or phase. So for those at home that don't understand or don't know what is transition is when you have the ball and you lose possession. So from attack to defend, and from defend to attack. So that's transition. So Yena, when he doesn't have the ball, net a winner, boom, Ushabaka transition. And he's got the kind of players that are transitional players, you know, because sometimes I'll use a transition, but you don't have a transitional player, you don't have transitional players. Because remember, the system is the one that makes
Yes,
the players.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the players make the system.
Yeah.
Not the system makes the players. So we're saying Benny and Mandla, Steve, Rulani, Mangoba, they've done very well 2021. I mean 2020, 2021. So these are not only them, but there are still other local coaches that I strongly believe they've done very well. Even if they are in Clyde Africa,
Yeah.
they've done very well. But without wasting time, now let's shift our attention to the bottom half of the league. Hey, Mto, Tian. Hayi, mina no Eddie we're talking only champions stuff. Le phezulu. Alisitsheleni kwenzakalani lezansi? We try to wena Mtho yakho class.
Hayi.
Eddie, have you ever been maybe in
Le bench ha ke tsebe go bench go diliwa jwang. Le dula alphabetically or le dula jwang. I don't know.
Oh, but class na go rwana jwang.
E re bench buwe. Buwe.
Yeah. So look, it's quite interesting when you think of it, because the margins are very thin at the bottom. It's anyone's game.
Yeah?
Anyone can go.
What changed? What has changed? What has changed?
Anyone can go. I mean, when you look at the bottom, you have Black Leopards and, at 16, and Cheaper at 15.
Yeah.
And there's something similar that they've done. Particularly in the past couple of seasons, and this season as well.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of coaching, chopping and changing of coaches.
Yeah, in fact, let me remind you about what Clinton Larsen said when he left Chippa United. He said this thing of Chippa changing coaches like this all the time, one day it's going to come back and bite them.
Yo.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
He said you can do anything, but this thing of changing coaches, it's always new, it's always new. One day it's going to happen like that. But look, there are other teams
that's
that
a serious case.
but they never listen. Even when Dan Marisela said left Chippa, he mentioned something and they said he was bitter. He said Chippa don't have the players to actually win games. And people said, yeah, but why did you go back? Obviously, you go back because, it's got a family to support, But people don't listen to such things. They think someone is bitter.
Yeah.
But also, in the relegation zone, you also have teams that shouldn't be there in terms of the quality that they have,
Okay.
but they find themselves there. Why? TTM, let's be honest, the management that was there previously, led by Masalam Lauzi, cost that team a lot. Because you had a lot of things about players not being paid, things like that.
Yeah.
Doc, you know as well. You're not a robot. You're a human being.
Yes.
You support the family.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you go to training but your wife and kids don't have food in the house?
Wow.
So mentally, obviously, you're not at your prime level to be fighting. So as soon as these guys came in, I liked what the new owner said.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, he said any issues that were there, salary issues or whatever, have been resolved. That's when I knew that this team have a chance to actually survive this time.
And what happened to after that?
They've played much better. I mean, they also won the Nedbank Cup.
Yeah.
This year they've won the Nedbank.
Absolutely.
So Kuchur Eddie, this thing the player, what Tian is saying, I mean you're a former player.
No, I was never old, but my paycheck used to bounce a lot. I think it was normally there was a lot of trampoline for my check.
So how would you feel that day when you go to training? Your check is bounced now.
Yeah.
So now you have to go to training.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't enjoy because I'm bitter. First thing first, before I train, there must be a meeting, and I hate meetings. I understand. And I need to call team manager. Why? And then say no, we'll sort it out today, and blah blah blah. And then I'll go back to training, smiley. But it doesn't have to be like that. Imagine 2 months at one stage TTM, the previous one, 2 months, 3 months, no salary. But like you say, Joe Chairman, I was listening to him. He said all the outstandings, I've settled them. Everybody now is happy. Even those who are left,
Yeah.
Baba Kolota, I've given them their monies.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So, but guys, then let's go back to the focus in terms of the lower tier. So, as you were saying, it's Leopards.
Yeah.
Then who's next?
You have Leopards at 16, and then you have Chipper at 15, and Leopards have 22 points, Chipper on 25.
Yeah.
And then you have Stellenbosch on 27 points,
Yeah.
the same as TTM.
Yo.
So you can see the margins are very thin, and then you have Maritzburg who are on 29,
Yes.
and then just above them you have Chiefs who are on 30. So
30.
So yes, 30 points. So from position 12 going down to 16, it's anyone's game. I mean,
Okay.
with the last 2 games, that's 6 points. Whoever maximizes on the remaining games can survive relegation. And interestingly, even Chiefs are not very safe.
Ah, man.
Not Urena.
Nah, little drama.
That's Urena.
Doc, it's not about the name. It's about reality.
But that's a big team, gents.
That's a big team, but
So uthini mtho mawuthi abekho ufuna ukuthini manje?
I'm saying Chiefs are on 30 points.
Yeah.
Just below them, there is Maritzburg who have 29
29.
points. And so if they lose these games and the teams below them win,
If they win their last games, yeah.
they could find themselves playing in the playoffs.
You,
Man, no, man.
but maybe to comfort Chiefs fans, when you reach 30 points, normally you're safe.
You're safe. But
Normally.
so
Go back to
why
all the
is he say
previous-
it's not safe?
It's just being realistic.
Hey, but guys,
It's just being
Anyway,
realistic, Doc.
anyway, that's being realistic. The truth of the matter is that how he actually showed or he told us how everything will pan. That's the truth. But yeah, ne? Chiefs can go to Otini.
They can go to the
Oh.
playoffs.
But anyway, let's leave the playoffs and all that because man, ungibulala softly. Uyangibulala, lena akayixwayela daddy. Angiyixwayela. But there was this hype in terms of the Glad Africa. Let's focus on Glad Africa. Whatever Glad Africa came in trendy, it was okay. Champions, what, hey. And now, no trophy presentation, no medals. The other team won. We have RAM at 51. And then Skukuni 50. You've got Richards Bay. By the way, Richards Bay were number 1 for quite some time. Yeah. But then, gents, why are we a winner? Why can't we know who's... Because he told us about the situation in the DStv, but Glad is stalling everything. What seems to be a problem, guys?
There are also things I don't understand from the league side as well.
Okay.
When the arbitration ruled in Skukune's favor, you have to update the log.
So they ruled. What happened?
So basically, in January,
Yes.
Skukune played Polokwane City.
Okay.
Polokwane City fielded less numbers in terms of their under-23 players.
How many players are supposed to be fielded? 5, ne?
Yes.
5.
So
they
now they
couldn't
played
field
like 4.
Oh.
of them.
Yeah.
So now, Skukune, because they noticed this right from the beginning of the match, they
Yeah.
protested.
Which was the good thing to do or not?
Absolutely. Very, very good.
Good.
From
Okay.
their
So
side.
they are okay in terms of the procedure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you protest,
Before the
it
match,
means you are aware
way of
what's going on.
going on the
yeah.
situation.
So you deserve the
So
points.
Sikukuni did that before.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they were supposed to get the points. The arbitration ruling, in my opinion, fair. It's
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
So now, the only issue is that now this matter happened in January.
Yeah.
Now we are in May.
It's May now. Yeah.
Now you're only sorting out this matter 5 months later.
What do you mean?
I mean, Doc, this issue, if a team protests in January,
Yeah.
why are you sorting out the issue 5 months later?
Yeah.
5 months
Yeah.
later.
Makes no
Why
sense to
May?
me.
Yo.
Yeah.
The tricky thing now is the timing, because the implication of that outcome changes the look of the log at the top.
Yo.
And look, had it been done in good time,
Yeah.
it would be a different story.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Then
Exactly.
Royal AM would play knowing that
Yeah.
Oh,
Skukuni,
Skukuni. Yeah.
you understand? But now when it happens with one game left,
Left.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a problem.
That's why you find people
So-
buying
so-
medals,
so-
buying trophies, and
Who bought
celebrating.
trophies and medals?
Royal AM.
Yeah.
When now?
They put their own trophy and own medal.
Guy.
Somewhere in Chatsworth.
Someone just said.
Chatsworth.
Yeah.
So, but I thought you guys said there were no trophy presentation, no medals,
No,
because
but-
of this issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This issue that you guys alluding to would what? The arbitration gave Skukuni 3 points. So Izoba on top of Royal AM, based on the current results.
So yeah, going into the last game, they were supposed to, in terms of that log after the arbitration ruling, on 50-50, 50
50 or
points
50.
each.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So when Skukune win on the other side, they go to 53.
53, yes.
Then this one's draw at home against Cape Town All Stars, then 51.
So now you
So,
guys are
but
saying,
because the arbitration ruling is
Yeah.
not updated on the league's
On the
law,
law.
Oh, yes.
then
Yeah.
it still puts Skukune now, because they won, at 50 points, and then Royal AM at 51 points, giving them this thing that they are the champions.
So it's one of those. So are you saying Eddie Royal AM is celebrating?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Not only on the ground,
Yeah?
not only in the stadium.
Yeah.
They even took it to an after party
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, there was a huge party. There was a
Aye,
huge
man.
party. Go mix.
But it's
Comex.
Yeah.
but
Push you, Wada.
Doc, this is good. You know why? It's a wake-up call for those running the league.
But then,
It's a wake-up call because these
can I
things,
interject?
they keep happening.
okay,
I can
Yeah.
even give you examples.
Year in, year
They keep
out.
happening.
15 years ago,
15
Yeah.
years ago, yes.
now I'm exposing my age as well.
No, it's good. Yeah. No, this is
15
what
years
we want
ago.
for positions.
PJ Stars were docked points right at the end of the season. Before that, they were safe from relegation. After that, they were relegated.
Yo.
So, because now they're still trying to fight the case, trying to go through the courts and so on, it delayed the start of the next season.
Yeah.
Let's go back to last season.
Okay.
Bombela, right at the end of the season.
So what was it? Was it NFD or Clan?
Yeah, no, just let.
Clan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
NFD. Yeah, so we're only talking about Led Africa.
Yeah.
Previously known obviously as NFD,
NFD, yes.
and Mvela, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So the time of PJ Stars was Mvela.
Okay.
So now last season, Bombela, they've been throughout the season playing a guy who had signed 2 contracts. Sabelo Nzinisa from Eswatini.
Yes.
At the end, because TS Sporting had actually protested long ago, because one of the teams he had signed with was them.
TS Sport.
Yes, TS
Sporting,
Sporting,
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So Bombela and TS Sporting have a contract with this guy.
Hey.
But when Bombela were warned, I remember even some guy calling me and saying, hey, but we've told these guys.
Yeah.
These guys also signed with us. Yes, the contract.
Yeah.
They also sent Far Post the contract. But they continue to play him. The problem here is that this situation is also sorted out when? End of the season.
End of the season.
That's when they were docked 23 points.
Yo.
Instead of
Yo.
TS Sporting being relegated, now TS Sporting are safe, Bombela are relegated.
So TS they were given 23 points. Other teams
No, so
they were
because
given-
Bombela now are losing the points,
Yeah.
so they go,
They-
you know.
No,
So
no.
it's for me. That's why I'm saying it's a good thing why these teams celebrate like this, because they embarrass the league. It's a wake-up call for them to say whatever case is there must be a timeline.
Exactly.
Can I
Yeah.
before you came to I know, but can I ask a simple question?
Yeah.
And I just want you guys niphendule kahle ne?
Hey.
Yeah.
Now, you're talking about every team has to field 5 players.
Youngsters, yeah.
When the season starts, will all the teams be told, or they know
Yeah, it's a written
that
rule.
it's a written rule
Yeah.
that every team in South Africa has to play five. Would you be saying to me, or would you, gents, nothing I understand.
Hey.
Why would you guys blame the league? Because a league, now
Yeah.
is it the league's responsibility to make sure that these teams they fill five players
No,
well?
no, no, you can't blame the league for that.
Yeah.
You can't
I'm
blame the
just
league for
asking-
that.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Because I hear you guys. You saying, you know, the guys at the league, this, but Mina. No, I understand. You're correct by saying that because obviously South Africa is under that umbrella. But now, Mina, same was a question with. Is it right for us to say a league are equal responsible, or are the clubs not responsible because they were told before any kickoff?
Yeah.
ukuthi, Nina Melenbenama under 25
Yeah.
filled in
Yeah.
I5.
I5.
Now a team I been a player I5.
No, that's that problem.
That's standard.
It's for the club.
Yeah,
It's for the club.
It's
Yeah.
got
So-
nothing to do with
so
the league.
manje-
The only issue that I have with the league
Yeah.
is that when there's a protest,
Or they sort it
why
out
take months to sort it
sort
out? But that one
Okay.
is for
now-
the club.
Now, okay, okay. It's for the club, ne?
Yeah.
Not the league.
The-
We
that-
agree, ne?
yeah.
The clubs need to be responsible because you're failing us. Because
Absolutely.
we do have what we call companies and the brands that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Because we cannot afford to falter and then blame them. But we need also to understand that there are people that we need to protect because of their involvement, and without them, we can't operate.
Exactly.
Ne?
Yes.
So, nice situation. We don't want to see this kind of a situation. He just told us about the story 15 years ago. He just told us about the story last season.
That's it.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me if a disciplinary case like this, or if it goes to a disciplinary hearing, they should make, by example, would listen, you didn't field 5 players, and the significance rules. Awuthi kancane lezansi. Segregator, or something of a harsh punishment.
Whatever they do, though.
That's what I'm saying, you know, because if these guys, okay, they didn't fill 5 players. Decision, give the points or don't give the points. We'll resume next year. Don't you think somebody else will do it again?
Definitely. I mean, the league has to take, some stern action
Yes,
because the clubs are aware,
they are aware.
the rules are written.
Yeah.
So they need to make an example so that whoever tries to do this thing
Shouldn't
in
have
future should be afraid to do it because it will cost them dearly.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's said that we're talking about a case from 15 years ago.
Yo,
15 years later, we have an almost similar
Similar
problem.
Yeah.
It means we're not learning.
yeah.
You know,
Let me give you this scenario. When I'm coaching SAB League, ne?
Yeah.
Which is lower than
The Glad.
the Glad.
Yes.
If you're protesting and you don't put your papers within 24 hours, it's nil and void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why if I put my papers within 24 hours, then they take 5 months to sit? You see,
That's
that's
the
the
problem.
catchy part.
You have a
Yeah.
point there. You
That's
have
the
a point.
problem.
That's the
Yes.
catchy part.
Yeah.
And Tina Gugu on our league, ne? Because you start with 5, you can finish with 2 youngsters. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't have 5, ne? We can have a mutual agreement between the teams. But you play with 4, but you one man short. You don't put the adult to replace that one. So you play with 10 players from onset. But that has to be a mutual agreement. That I don't have 5, I got 4, but I'll take in Gutwe 1
We one
out. Then we
Big Talaga
10.
10.
Yeah. Understand? So that's how we operate. But my point here on this matter is that if I'm forced to put my papers within 24 hours with 5,000, because we pay 5,000 rand for protest, why they take 5 months, 6 months?
We pay 5K.
Yeah,
5,000.
5K for protest. So why
much?
5,000?
5,000.
Yeah. Why do they take 5 months, 6 months?
And that's what happens from Glad Africa and ABC Mutsepeli.
Yeah.
Why so many months? Why?
Exactly.
Because there must be a timeline. If
Yeah.
I protest on January 1, within 2 weeks, this
Yeah.
matter must be finalized.
Exactly.
If it's like that, you won't have situations where two teams are celebrating end of the season. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because the points would have been awarded long ago or expunged long ago.
Now the two matters are in court. Meaning, for example, if the courts
You rule against
against AM,
yeah.
AM will have to appeal. That's another delay.
Yeah. But also, if it happens like that, you go to court, FIFA doesn't allow an ordinary court to be handling these matters. And also, what we must not forget, the arbitration ruling is final and binding.
The arbitration ruling is final and binding.
By this.
So
for
if that's
all
the
parties.
case, then what's the holdup?
So now, even if you run to dock, they'll tell you about even if you go to court, they'll tell you about the arbitration ruling, which is final and binding, which you signed up for.
So meaning AM is playoffs.
They must go to playoffs.
Rules must be up.
You know, if you apply the rules, it's simple.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
guys,
Dog has had enough.
you know what? I fuck with Nizwele Nani, the best, have said it. Uzoyithola apha futhi. Mohlele khoneni. But other than that, thank you for watching Fapo's session. And don't forget to subscribe because uzoyizwa phela into enjengale. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Thanks, guys.